this is why America is the great country it is. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I cannot get enough of that. Americans love two things: big V8 engines with a lot of power and 3 rows of seats for the whole family. And today we've got a vehicle that can fit both of those parameters. This is the 2024 Dodge Durango. I'm Nicholas Bishop from Yark Automotive Group, and today we're taking a look at this car and see what it's all about. For starters, there's the styling. The styling of the Dodge Durango is more sport oriented. This front grille that looks like it has a mustache almost. If you have a mustache, that means you're cool. So the Dodge Durango is cool. And it has this stance as if it's about to pounce on you like a cat. You get to the back of the Durango and you see you have these wider hips, kind of like a Coke bottle style, that harkens back to the muscle cars from Mopar of the 1960s with wide hips and a narrow front end. That's the kind of sport factor that the Durango is trying to fulfill. So basically, a lot of interiors fit different purposes and different needs for buyers. Some people use a varying range of high-end quality materials, while others kind of stay on the cheaper side, and I think Dodge is right in the middle. You have plenty of finely appointed leather pieces in here. Everything is soft touch, as I said, and there's plenty of piano black plastic. Everything in here feels tight. There's nothing that feels loose or cheap or wiggly. I like the use of the buttons here in the center, and you also have different black piano plastic buttons below the climate controls. The knobs are easy to find and easy to reach, and what's good is it being driver oriented, meaning that you don't have to take your eyes off the road to find everything, because the dashboard, at least the screen along with the climate, is turned toward you. Coming over here, we have this 10.1-inch touchscreen. This is all new for the Durango, running the latest Uconnect 5 system. It works quite well. It's sharp and responsive. There's not a lot of cheapness to go around at all, and that's where the Durango kind of shines over the competition, because a driver-focused interior that still is comfortable and finely appointed with these leather seats with the Dodge rally stripe in the middle, then the Durango suits your budget. And what's even better, you want a sporty SUV, you need a powerful engine. So under the hood is the 5.7 liter HEMI V8 that puts out 360 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. The HEMI is what sells me, and it kind of sounds something like this. Oh yeah, you'll never get sick of that. It sells me because no other manufacturer is offering it anymore. That's the sweet spot of the Dodge Durango, because everything in the Stellantis lineup is going, you know, inline 6-cylinder or twin turbo, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there are die-hard Dodge fans who still want that HEMI, and it's nice to say, also sad to say, that the Durango is basically the last breath of life for the 5.7 liter V8. If you want the 5.7, and if you want a reasonable amount of power, then you can get this. And of course, you could option up for the SRT Durango Hellcat, but those are used, and finding one of those is the equivalent of basically trying to find a deal that is as good as Yark while not buying from Yark. It simply just won't happen. But essentially, the 5.7 liter V8 does this quite well over the V6. Obviously, you're not going to be concerned with fuel economy because, you know, you're buying a V8 and you're driving a Dodge. Fuel economy is last on their list of priorities, and that's what makes it fun. The Durango is fun. It's purely for fun factor. It's that uncle that your parents don't like, because whenever your parents aren't around, he lets you do all of the things that you would get in trouble for, like shooting off fireworks. It's just a kick in the face to the competition. It's a kick in the face to fuel efficiency. It's a kick in the face to the whole EV push, because Dodge is still putting out fun SUVs. That is the premise of the Durango. If you buy the Durango, you want something that looks cool. You want something sitting nice, and obviously sitting on 18-inch wheels, it does look quite nice. But you also want HEMI power, and this is why America is the great country it is. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I cannot get enough of that. That is what makes this car so great. And it's quiet. There's barely any road noise at all. So it's very easy to have a conversation here with your passengers and have a conversation here with your kids. It's actually a pleasing driving experience. One of the quietest SUVs I've ever driven on the highway. See how it corners under some stress. Brakes feel quite responsive. They're strong, and they put it through this corner on the brakes harder. Some squealing from the tires there, but then again, there will be some body roll, but not as much as you would expect. It's playful, it's athletic, it pounces, it's quite responsive, it's seriously impressive, and we get back on the highway. Up to the speed limit, no problem. God, I love this engine. So to that third row, the second row of seats are captain's chairs. So that means that when you're driving on a long trip, you don't have to worry about son or daughter beating the ever-living crap out of each other for fighting over the snacks. So they can keep their distance, and it's actually, there is plenty of legroom back there. Even for me, I'm 6 foot and I fit back there just fine. But the third row is like the restroom amenities on a Greyhound bus. You know it's there, but you don't want to use it unless you absolutely have to. But you know that it's there. You can use the third row if you have to take kids to a sporting event or on a field trip or to school. But if you're more focused on hauling some stuff, put the third row down and just focus with the second row up, because you have 85 cubic feet of cargo room back there and you only have 17 with the third row up. So it's not terrible, but you will sacrifice some space if the third row is up. But you can haul more kids, but if you don't have many kids, you can leave it with the second row. But it's nice to know that if you need the third row, it's there. So as always, if you're interested in this Dodge Durango, or you want to see the dozens upon dozens of Durangos we have to offer, check us out at yarkauto.com, and be sure to follow our social media pages as well as our YouTube page so you don't miss any videos like this one. As always, with Yark Automotive, I am Nicholas Bishop, and we'll catch you in the next one. Remember, we've got just what you're looking for.